Why is that door closed?
How are we supposed to know? We're not supposed to move, right?
The Breakfast Club isn't just detention, it's a trap, and you walked right into it. You thought you were just watching 5 kids in a library. Wrong. It was never about them, it was always about you. Every silence, every stereotype, every camera angle was designed to manipulate your mind, and you never even noticed. Today, we're revealing 15 hidden psychological games the Breakfast Club played with your brain. Game number 1, the stereotype trap. From the opening line, the movie boxes the kids into labels: a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. The second you hear those words, your brain takes a shortcut. You assume you know them already. That's the trick. We all love stereotypes because they simplify the world, they help us judge quickly. But John Hughes lures you into judging, only to rip the rug out from under you. By the end, every one of those labels is shattered, and you feel guilty for assuming. That's not just clever writing, that's psychological conditioning. The first trap sets the stage. You're not just watching the characters judge each other, you're judging with them. But if Hughes stopped there, you'd never fully bond with these kids. So he brings in the perfect villain.
Well, here we are. I want to congratulate you.
Game number 2, the authority distraction. Vernon isn't just a teacher, he's a weapon. He reads private files, he bullies Bender, he abuses his authority. You're supposed to hate him, and you do. But while you're focused on his cruelty, something else is happening. You're uniting with the kids. Vernon is a common enemy, and when people face a common threat, they bond faster. You're not just watching detention anymore, you're emotionally invested. You've picked a side, and once Hughes knows you're hooked emotionally, he starts messing with your sense of time.
All right, people, we're going to try something a little different today. We are going to write an essay.
Game number 3, the invisible timer. The film covers nearly 8 hours of detention, but you don't feel it. Why? Because Hughes paces it like real bonding. At first, long silences, boredom, awkward distance. Then bursts of chaos running through halls, dancing, laughing. Then silence again, now heavier, deeper. Your brain recognizes the rhythm because it feels authentic. It feels like you lived it too. By the end, you aren't watching detention, you've been through detention. And while your sense of time is being reshaped, so is your perspective, literally.
Keep eating your hand, you're not going to be hungry for lunch.
Game number 4, the height game. Notice the camera. In the beginning, Vernon towers above them, shot from high angles. They look small, powerless, childish, but as the story unfolds, the shots shift. By the finale, eye level, equal. Without realizing it, your point of view changes. At first, you see them the way Vernon does, beneath him. By the end, you see them the way they see themselves, on the same level as adults. Hughes doesn't just tell you they've grown, he makes you see it. But sometimes the loudest message isn't visual, it's silence.
It is now 7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you're here.
Game number 5, the silence weapon. Think of Allison. For the first act, she barely speaks. She sits in silence, scribbling, hiding. And your brain starts to fill the gaps. Who is she? What's wrong with her? When she finally does speak, those words hit like an earthquake. The silence built the suspense. Hughes weaponizes silence. It's not empty, it's a mirror. You, the audience, project your fears and guesses onto her. And that makes her voice all the more powerful when she finally breaks through. But Hughes doesn't just break silence, he breaks rules. Game number 6, the weed scene breaking point. That marijuana scene is a turning point. Brian, the good kid, takes a hit, Claire, the princess, follows, and suddenly the walls between them crumble. It's not about weed, it's about rebellion. For Brian, it's rebellion against perfection. For Claire, it's rebellion against image. For Andrew, it's rebellion against control. This shared bad choice gives them permission to reveal their darkest truths. The smoke is symbolic, masks disappear, and from that haze comes raw honesty. But rebellion alone isn't enough. Hughes uses ritual to take it deeper.
Now hold this smoke. That's what it is.
Game number 7, the circle of truth. When the confessions come, notice where they're sitting on the floor in a circle. No desks, no distance, no hierarchy. This isn't an accident. Circles are ancient spaces of equality, campfires, therapy groups, rituals. And suddenly the criminal, the princess, the brain, the athlete, the basket case all lose their labels. They're just people confessing their pain, and you're trapped in the circle with them. And speaking of transformation, Hughes stages one of the most controversial yet revealing moments: Allison's makeover.
I didn't have anything better to do.
Game number 8, watching Andrew fall. Everyone talks about Allison's transformation, but the trick isn't on her, it's on you. The camera doesn't stay on Allison, it stays on Andrew's face, watching him see her for the first time. This isn't a makeover, it's perspective. For Allison, it's not about makeup, it's about finally being noticed for who she is. For Andrew, it's about realizing she was always there, hidden in plain sight. And Hughes makes you experience that shift through Andrew's eyes. But while your eyes are adjusting, your ears are already being manipulated.
Do you really want to run away? Or you want people to think you want to run away?
Eat shit.
Game number 9, music pulling your strings. The Breakfast Club's soundtrack isn't decoration, it's control. When they run from Vernon, the music is upbeat, not tense. You feel excitement, not fear. When Bender sacrifices himself, his shouts echo, making him heroic. And that final song, Don't You Forget About Me, isn't just catchy, it's a challenge. Will you remember them tomorrow, or will you walk by? The music decides your feelings before your brain can. But the most powerful characters in this film, you never even see them.
What if your dope was on fire?
Impossible, sir.
Game number 10, parents you never see. Every wound in this movie comes from parents. Claire's used as a pawn, Bender's abused, Andrew's controlled, Brian's crushed by pressure, Allison's ignored, and yet you never see the parents. That's what makes them terrifying. By staying off screen, they become shadows bigger than life. They're not characters, they're forces. Forces the kids can't fight, and you feel that power. And Hughes doesn't even need dialogue to show this power. Sometimes a lunchbox is enough.
I'll make it up to you. Honey, ditching class to go shopping doesn't make you a defective. Have a good day.
Game number 11, what's in your lunch? Before anyone speaks, their food tells the story. Brian's neat tray equals control. Claire's sushi equals wealth and status. Andrew's feast equals athlete fuel. Allison's sugar bomb sandwich equals rebellion. Bender's nothing equals neglect. One lunch reveals more than pages of dialogue ever could. You're decoding characters without realizing it. And then, Hughes raises the stakes, literally with a knife. Game number 12, the knife escalation. When Bender reveals his knife, it's not about danger, it's about power. The camera pulls back, your instinct is distance. Then it cuts close to Andrew's fear. It's not the blade that matters, it's the psychology. In psychology, weapons act as aggression cues. They trigger tension. This one shot reveals how close to violence they already were. Long before the knife appeared, even a door becomes a weapon in Hughes's game.
I said leave her alone.
You gonna make me?
Game number 13, breaking the door prop. When Bender removes that screw, it looks like a prank, but it's rebellion. With Vernon's door trick gone, the students steal privacy. Suddenly, secrets can be shared, masks can slip. That tiny piece of metal shifts the balance of power. And once again, you didn't even notice. And then comes the assignment, the essay. But Hughes flips it on its head.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Give you the answer to that question, Mr. Bender, next Saturday.
Game number 14, flipping the essay. Vernon asks them to write about who they are. Instead, they write about who he thinks they are. You see us as you want to see us, they declare, throwing his labels back in his face. But here's the genius part. They don't explain themselves to Vernon, only to each other and to us. The teacher doesn't earn the truth, we do. And Hughes saves his most iconic move for last. Game number 15, that final fist. Bender walking across the football field, fist in the air, frozen in triumph, shot from below, larger than life. It's not just celebration, it's transformation. For 90 minutes, he was the criminal, but in this final frame, he's the hero. And Hughes knew the last thing you see is the thing you remember. That image burned itself into pop culture because it captures a universal fantasy, beating the system.
You want to spend a little more time trying to do something with yourself and a little less time trying to impress people. You might be better off.
Bonus game number 16, the detention cage. Think about the setting. One library, one Saturday, one cage. The locked doors, the constant supervision, the impossibility of escape, it's a pressure cooker. Psychologists call this forced proximity. When people are trapped together, defenses drop faster. By confining them to one space, Hughes forces the walls between them to collapse. And he traps you too. You can't escape until they do. So what looked like a teen comedy was actually a masterclass in psychological manipulation. John Hughes didn't just tell a story, he engineered an experiment. He trapped you with stereotypes, bent your sense of time, hijacked your perspective, and rewrote your emotions with silence, music, and shadows. The biggest trick of all, making you think you were just watching a movie, when really, you were the subject. And nearly 40 years later, we're still playing his game. Next time you watch The Breakfast Club, pay attention. See if you can catch the tricks yourself. But be warned, you probably won't. And if this opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button, because there are countless more psychological games hidden in the movies you thought you knew.